I have a few non-writerly things that I want to do, or like more maintenance stuff that I want to do, so I'm on early and I'm doing that, so that way at the top of the hour I can start or transition to novel stuff. So there's a couple things that I do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or at least Mondays and Wednesdays. And one of them is cross-posting to Medium. So I just want to see how I do this because I forget how easily I forget. Okay, so I remove that image and I add this one, which is basically 52. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and add what's in here. Substack review. Excellent. Now, okay, that's not there, so let me add the link. Where's the link? It's over here. I think I might actually have to, yeah, that's what I thought. That's actually, we can leave it like this. I just don't want it. Oh, it took it off the whole thing. Well, that was genius. Copy. Okay. Let me make sure there's no images. That's there, so all of my links are there. That's good. Let's worry about that. Okay, there's no images. That's good. So I can just publish this. And I always just add the one thing, which is Substack. I don't meter my story, so it's eligible to earn money because I want everyone to see it. And publish now. Okay, there we go. I don't share it anywhere because I don't have to. And so here's my stuff. Now I can close this. The next thing I want to do is make sure that this is in my Tumblr. It should have cross-posted, and it did. Wonderful. Where else does it go? I don't usually check Facebook. I know it went to Facebook. I don't need to check that. I did Medium. It's here on my blog. Okay, this is me posting it to Twitter. One thing I don't do enough of is hashtagging, so let's get some Twitter hashtags going. Okay, I think I can. Copy this. Stay at the top. Okay, Twitter hashtags to use. Okay, so it is the same. So I'll put that there. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, so let's take this and I'm just gonna paste it like so. I wonder why the thing isn't here anymore. Strange, but okay, so now next thing I want to do is I want to post to Instagram. jumping the gun here. I don't have the image yet. Oh wait, I probably do. I do have the image. I already did it preemptively. Way to go, me. So it's this one. And I'm just gonna take my generic copy here. If it's change this to Monday, change this to 52. And post now, yay. I need to fix the hashtag situation on those posts though. I feel like I'm not doing the right ones. Okay, so I think that's everything. I really should have like a checklist so that way I'm making sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do every Monday and Wednesday after my newsletter has gone out. So that way I'm not like wondering. I also changed my, did a little tweak to my website again. So it's, as you can see, I changed my header on the top left. So it's new, if you will. I changed it from saying sub to my stack because I realized that people might not know what the hell that means. So I just changed it to just plain old newsletter. I changed the look of my blog so the actual blog page does not have the widgets in the side. It's only those widgets and things are only going to be once you click into the post, which I'm attempting to do now. And then you'll see my sidebar here. So the sidebar will only be in each actual blog post. There's these icons up here to share. I moved a lot of the metadata up to this top window here. I like it. I like the font as well. I was a little iffy about the font, to whether to go with a serif or a sans serif. I obviously went with the serif font. The icons are good. I added the mail icon here. I don't know if I need it. I feel like, do I have too many icons up top? Should I get rid of the email one and just have social media up there? I don't know. But I feel like every little tweak that I do improves the site. So as long as that keeps happening, then I'm okay with it. It's just so much more simple, clean, and all of that jazz. And I'm also about to be entering my next writing competition or writing contest. I'm entering the short story contest, which is currently open. The early submission deadline is, I believe, November 15th, and then the regular deadline is December 15th. So that basically gives me 2.5 months to write a 1,500 words or fewer story, which is basically what I'm doing every Friday, where I'm writing, my Friday fiction short stories. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do one removed from my Friday fiction normal cycle, or if I'm going to continue my Friday fiction normal cycle in between now and November 15th. If there's one that I've written that I really like, use it. And the reason why I can do that in this instance is because there are rules, which I'm actually pretty shocked because no other contest that I've seen, or even publication that I've seen, would allow this. But for this contest, if you are self-published or you have a blog where you publish your stories, they will consider that for the contest, and that won't disqualify you. So technically I can take one of my Friday fiction that I've already written, that's already out publicly, and use that to enter the contest, which I think is pretty cool because, like I said, most places would not do that. They would say if it's published anywhere, including your blog, Patreon, wherever, you can't enter it. It says it actually right here. So all entries must be English, only original works that have not been published. But it also says self-published works in blogs or on social media, etc., will be considered. So to me, that means anything that I've written for Friday Fiction and published on my blog or my website is, they will consider. So, but I think I want to write. I always, when I'm entering these contests now, I want to make a point to write something fresh and new, and not pull something from my past into my present and like rewrite it or whatever the case may be. So I know for sure I'm going to be writing something new, but the question is, should I write something new, secretive and separately from my normal Friday fiction, or should I just pick one of the, like, I think I'm going to have maybe 10 Friday fiction stories written from when I started till November 15th, and then pick one of those. Actually, let me see how many I will have written and look at what my schedule looks like. So I started here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've written 4 already this month. 5, 8, 13. Yeah, so I will have written 15 of them by November 12th. And then for me to get in for the early submission, which is only a $5 difference between the early submission and the regular submission. And I did tell myself that I would only enter contests that were free to enter. However, I'm going to make an exception because this is Writer's Digest, so it's not like it's a publication where I'm questioning its integrity or questioning its professionalism. It's Writer's freaking Digest. So I think entering this one and paying to enter is not going to make me feel like I made the wrong move. But in any event, I feel like I'm done with my internet stuff because I can't think of anything else I'm supposed to do. I tweeted, I Instagrammed, I did the Medium cross post. I mean, that should technically be it, right? My email list is steadily growing, like one new subscriber, I would say, every 3 to 4 days, which is not moving mountains, but it's better than I thought I would be doing, considering I'm not doing much heavy lifting in the promotion and self-promoting department, though I do intend on ramping that up in some respect towards the end of the year. So let's move on. I'm shrinking away all my windows so I have less distraction. And I can just focus on Scrivener. Okay. So here's, I actually opened this up a couple days ago so that I can prepare for this and not seem like I'm fudging it as I go. But so I removed what I had written. So these Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and the epilogue are empty of chapters. It's all actually been put in this old stuff folder. So I had originally written 16,630 words. I think I got to, did I write the whole first? No. Yeah, so I was up to here. So I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, like 10 and a quarter chapters before I realized that something wasn't right, that it just wasn't working for me. And this should be a part of the prologue, or should be the prologue. I don't know why it's not, but in any event, that's, so I'm starting back from the beginning. Well, I did have tentative titles. That's good to know. Yeah, these major notes no longer apply. I'm just making sure I don't have things in here that I really want somewhere else. It looks like I don't. Yeah, I gotta create a game. I gotta write folklore. The trials I'm not going to be spending too much time on with this new outline, which is good because I didn't want to waste too much time on it anyhow. So the real change that I'm making is that I'm writing two separate outlines in two different time periods. And so what I need to decide on is how I'm going to do this, because the chapters are going to be interwoven between past, present, past, present. They're going to go back and forth from beginning to end. And so do I want to write it that way, or do I want to just say, okay, I'm just going to write the present timeline, these 15 chapters, and I'm not even going to pay attention to the past outline until I've written all 15 chapters of the present outline. Then I will go here and I will write each chapter for the past outline. And then when I do my editing, make sure that one weaves into the other in a clever way. Or should I do that clever weaving right up front, and then just take these two outlines and combine them into one large outline with it in the way that I want. I mean, I can do it either way. I'm just trying to think which way will make it less confusing or complicated when I get to the editing process and I kind of like shuffle the deck into itself with the past present model. And also, as you can see, I did not do all 15 beats here, so I need to do that as well. I got up to break into 2 for the present outline, and then for the past outline, I got into I got to the promise of the premise, which is just 2 beats past the break into Act 2. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. Actually, is finishing the beats for the 2 different timelines, and then after I've done that, I'm going to make the one long outline that will put them back to back the way that I want, past, present, past, present. I'm going to read through that outline in the hopes that it will make sense how I'm writing the story. And then I will make the decision of which outline I'm going to choose when I actually start writing. But the way that I have it set up this way means it's going to be at least 30 chapters, and then I'm going to write an epilogue. And there will likely be an epilogue type chapter for each timeline. So there will be 2 epilogue chapters. They won't be called like epilogue past, epilogue present. I'm not going to, that seems silly. But that's just how I'm going to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to do what I did in my original, which was each chapter had a specific name. Instead of it being chapter 1, chapter 2, I actually gave each chapter a name based on what was happening in that chapter. I don't know if I'm going to stick to that. So, yeah. But give me 1 minute. I will be right back, and then we're going to get started. Okay. So let's look at the present outline. So as you can see, the last time I touched this was July 30th, which was by this Friday would have made it 2 months since I've worked on this, because in those 2 months I was working on that short story for the LeVar Burton Reads contest, which I've entered. It's out into the ether universe, and so that's why I'm able to return to this now 2 months later. But I do need to like now do a little catch up because it's been so long. So the reason why I'm doing past and present is because I think it makes more sense to give my main character, who in the original timeline was a bit too young, and so it was difficult to inject him into the story surrounded by essentially a lot of adults, and so I needed to have a way or a reason why it was happening the way that it was. And why does that seem like it's a lot shorter than I thought it was? Anyway, and so what I did was I'm using my main character, and the present is going to be in, I believe the present's going to be in first person, and the past is going to be in third person. I think those are the POVs that I'm going with. I'm sure I wrote that down somewhere. Okay, so sorry, I had it backwards. So the present is going to be in third person, and then the past is going to be in first person, because it's going to be like he's telling the story of his childhood. So it's going to be in first person narrative that he's going to be recounting and remembering his past, and how his present is starting to be reminiscent of, or be in directly parallel to what happened when he was a young boy. And so in the present timeline, what's happening is he's the owner of a famous bar where his tribe is situated. And so the first, question that will hopefully be in the reader's minds is, how did he end up there? Because he's a member of a tribe that's very traditional. And so by the end of the book, I'm hoping, not really by the beginning, but by the end of the book, I'm hoping that the reader is going to want to keep reading, because they're going to want to know how Son of River, who by all intents and purposes is this young boy in this tribe, and they would never leave the tribe, let alone be the owner of a bar. How did he end up there? So when we first meet him, because we're going to start with the present chapter, so it's going to start present and then past and then go back and forth. He's the owner of this bar. He's cleaning it up. It's not open. It's the daytime. And they get a visitor. And he's got 2 children at this point. 2? It's either 2 or 3. I can't remember how many kids he has. But I think he's got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And this stranger comes in because they claim that they were chased by a monster. And so the person describes the monster, and he recognizes what it is right away. And so he sends his oldest child to go and fetch, I think it's Tox, and we'll meet Tox in the, like everyone we meet, we'll meet in the past and the present. And what I'm hoping will happen is, as the reader keeps going, is they will start to wonder, like they'll realize that there was clearly this huge battle that took place in his past, because he's gonna recount his earliest memory that leads up to when they were going to take down this enemy. And this enemy is basically a skinwalker who had infiltrated their tribe, and who they were trying to uncover which member of their tribe or members was a skinwalker. And this person who was chased into the bar basically was chased by a skinwalker. So what they thought they had eradicated and was making sure that that never happened again, clearly they're back. But these skinwalkers that are back are from another kingdom. So it's not, so they were successful in eradicating them from there, but they, there are skinwalkers elsewhere which they had not considered until now. And so now he has to basically bring all the people together who came together in his past timeline to eradicate them, to do it again, and basically say, like, we got visitors, unwanted visitors, and we need to destroy them ASAP, or find out why they're here and then destroy them. And then what happens is, by the end of book one of his children ends up taken by the stranger who comes in and tells him they were chased. He doesn't realize that they're actually in on the plan that the skinwalker has. And so now not only does he have to, find out the plan, destroy the skinwalkers, but he now has to save one of his children. And so we'll find out, like, who he's married to, that he's got 2 kids. And so we'll be in the past timeline with, his friends and relations. And then we'll have the present timeline. And so when I introduce, each person will need to be sly and intricate and very intentional, because not everyone from his past timeline makes it and lives and survives that big war and battle that happens in his past timeline between the skinwalkers and him and his friends and whatever. So the other questions, so there should be 2 questions that I want the reader to be asking by the end of book 1. One of them is, how does he end up being the owner of this tavern? It's called the Iron Rope Inn, but it's a tavern, and it's an inn, and it's this whole thing. And then the second question is, who is in the present timeline, like who survives? Because the way I'm deciding if the second book or the third book is going to be the one that's going to lead up to this huge war. Because I need a reason for the past timeline to keep going. And I feel like if I have the past timeline go into how the war happens and ends, what is there left of the past timeline that's going to be worth keeping in there? And in many ways, I'm thinking of Slumdog Millionaire in the cleverness of how the past timeline for that boy helps him to answer the questions when he's playing the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game, right? And so if I don't have a lot of the action of leading up to the war, because I have the war come a lot sooner in the story, then I need that kind of momentum for the past timeline, that there are going to be things that happen in his past after the war that helps him in defeating the enemy that has returned, in a way, in his present timeline. So it's a lot to unbox and figure out in a cohesive and not confusing way. And then having to juggle all these characters, their past and their present, is not going to be easy either, because I think I did all of that. Yeah, see, I did the past characters, and then I have the present characters, but what I don't think I did is actually changed any of the information. Yeah, these, you can see that they're all... Actually, I should probably do that as well. But there's less present timeline stuff, so I only have to really do these. And the other thing I did, oh, is I changed who Son of Oak is. I actually changed his age and made him closer to Son of River's age, and he's going to be his best friend as opposed to his father's best friend. Because I realized also in the story that he needed to have somebody that he talked to, hung out with, got into trouble with, and all of these things. He clearly needed a buddy, and so I gave him Son of Oak because I realized that I needed him to be younger anyway. And then he's also going to have a female close friend who comes in a bit later, but that's going to be Leaf. So Leaf will also be, she'll be like a few years older than him, but will be that trifecta that we always see in so many books. You know, like I'm thinking like Harry Potter, where it's 2 boys and the girl. So in this instance, it's going to be that similar dynamic, but older and younger. And we'll discover right away, or at least that's the big reveal at the end of the first book, because I wanted to have a big reveal, and the big one is not even going to be that his children, or one of his children is kidnapped. The big reveal is actually going to be that Son of Oak is not in the present timeline, and we'll find out what happens, how Son of Oak dies. Again, either in the second or third book. I haven't decided yet how that's going to come about, but that will be the first, and hopefully will be the trigger for the reader to say, oh, if he's not in the present timeline, then who else didn't make it? You know, because we're going to meet so many people in the past timeline. We're going to meet all the elders, Son of Oak. We're going to meet his mother. We're going to find out about his father who died before he was even like 1 year old, like after he was born. Shortly after his father died, we're going to find, you know, his sister is we know is not going to be one of them because she's assassinated by the queen. Like I'm keeping that in there, that the chief assassinates his sister and he ends up running away and he ends up with the other tribe. Like I'm going to keep a lot of the original time of the original outline, because the original outline is in itself my past timeline. I'm just changing it a bit to add a present timeline in there, but a lot of that is, those things are staying. But because we meet so many people from the past timeline, I want to give the reader the impression that not all of them, you know, several decades later are still either, you know, alive, or that they even made it after the war. There was, you know, after war there is death, so or during war. And I want the reader to be wondering that, and the way I'm going to force them to think about it and ask the question is, his best friend is going to be, you know, in a good in the entirety of the first book. They're going to have this, you know, close bond and connection, and then the way I'm going to reveal that he's not there in the present is he's the caretaker to Son of Oak's daughter, only child, and the reason is because her father is, you know, is dead. And so there's a scene that happens between the two of them at some point near the end, where that's explained. We start to get introduced to each person that comes to the tavern as they gather, you know, the group, the squad, the X-Men squad together, who are going to now have to go out and defeat the enemy again. And she's a teenager, so, you know, they have this conversation. She's going to help them because she wants to, because she knows it's what her father would have done. And Son of River, you know, has to reluctantly agree to let her do it because, you know, she is old enough. He had been training her, etc., etc. And so that's how we learn that his best friend is dead, but his best friend left his daughter in in his care. And so the other question is going to be, who's her mother? And I have all the answers to all those questions, but those are things that I want the reader to be thinking and asking as they're reading. So it's a lot to expect. And as I'm saying, good morning. Good morning. Let's go to the old, and then let's go to the, is it the simple or the detailed? Is it the detailed? And no. Okay, what comes after the promise of the premise? Good morning, all. I'm just completing my two parallel outlines. This story is going to be past and present. So I was just kind of talking out with myself that I have to do a past timeline and then I have to do a present timeline, hitting all the beats for each timeline, and then they're going to go back and forth starting with the present. So present, past. And so I have to decide probably next week. I'm going to give myself this week, Monday and Wednesday, to do the two timelines and then make a third outline sheet that's going to be them going back and forth, so that next Monday I'm going to have to decide how I'm going to write it. Am I going to write the present timeline and all of those chapters, then write all of the past timelines, and then stack them? Or am I going to take the one long timeline and or one long outline and then just write the chapters past, present in that way. Like, I don't know if one is going to be better to do over the other. I have to decide that. But first, I need to write out the outlines. I did like half for both of them. So now I need to do the other half. I'm just cleaning up how they look. Oh, I have a lot of birds on my front lawn right now. Like a good 15, possibly more. Or just like, are they about to have a meeting on my front lawn? On my front yard? It looks like it. All the little baby birdies. And I'm using Blake Snyder's beat sheet to do it. So if you're familiar with that at all, it's typically used by screenwriters, but a lot of fiction writers use it. So I discovered it or found out about it actually from my wife because she is a screenwriter. So okay, so I did the promise of the premise here, which is here. I think it's the B story that I have to return to. Yeah. Yes, I know. I was just thinking about that. You know what it is? I am missing something. Hold on, I have to go back. Okay, open image. missing the assassination of his sister, and that's what's actually, I can make the assassination of his sister come regardless of the trial. Like, I can remove the whole process of the trials entirely. That's what's tripping me up. What if... Okay, let's try that. Let's take this folder here. And I'm going to just put it in here with the old stuff. And then this should be when that happens. Hello, Silent Willow. I'm good. It's been a while, I think, since we last spoke. Um, I have a door to my office. My closet's been closed off um, in order to give more space to the room on the other side of my office. My office, unfortunately, is a mess. My wife gave me directive today that I am to clean my office. Um, so today after the stream, I'm going to be putting on some music and vacuuming the floor, mopping the floor, and things like that. So I'll be working on that today, and then going downstairs for some lunch, and then coming back up here probably to do a bit more work stuff, because I don't have books on the shelves, and so it's been driving her nuts that I have not done that, even though my office has been technically done for at least the last 2-3 weeks now. So I have no excuse for why I haven't brought books in here and put them on my shelves, which she's right. So I will be working on that. But yeah, so I officially submitted my short story to the contest on Saturday, I believe. So now that frees me up to do this. It doesn't free me up entirely because I do have other writing obligations, but Mondays and Wednesdays for sure I will be working on my novel. And then I already have my next writing contest picked out. So I'm going to be submitting one more story before the end of the year to this other writing contest. And I also already have a publication picked out. So there will be in total 3 short stories that I will have written and submitted, 2 to a writing contest and 1 to a publication. So that will be my goal for the rest of this year. And then I'm thinking, if that's what I'm able to accomplish in the second half of the year, that's probably what I'll do next year. Is I'll do 6. I'll pick, for the first 6 months, I'll find either 2 writing contests and a publication, or 3 publications, or whatever the case may be, so that in the entirety of the year I will have submitted to contests and publications at least 6 times. I think that's feasible to do 3 in the first 6 months and then 3 in the second 6 months of the year. I think I can easily do that, because that's kind of what I'm going to be doing this year. But for this story, what my goal is to finish the vomit draft by the end of the year. So by Christmas, I want to have a vomit draft done so that I can then print out that manuscript and start the red pen edits in the new year. So I'm going to give myself 4 months from January to April to do my 3-step self-editing process, which, as you know, is I do the red pen edits. Then after I apply the red pen edits to the manuscript on my computer, I then put that through Pro Writing Aid. And then after I do that, I convert it to an ebook and read it out loud and do my auditory editing. So that's my 3-step process for my own personal editing before it would go to a professional editor. But because of how I'm releasing this, so Silent Willow, just so you know, I am doing serialized fiction. And so I'm going to be releasing this trilogy as a chapter by chapter release online via my newsletter. So that's why you see on the screen there it says sub to my stack. That's my Substack is my newsletter. So I think that's the main change that has happened that you have not seen. And I can show it real quick whilst I am speaking on it. But I am no longer using MailChimp, and I am no longer supporting, promoting, or advocating for anyone who wants to do a newsletter to use MailChimp. I don't even think you should use MailerLite or ConvertKit. And the reason why I say that is because they cost money, and they're more for someone who is after marketing more so than building a community and connecting to your readers. So if your goal is to get that 1,000 super fans, which most writers, that's their goal, then I would not recommend going with any of those. They're good for someone who already is making money. Like if you're someone who already has 15 books on Amazon and you're making steady income from your sales with your books on Amazon, then yes, you should be using MailChimp, MailerLite, or ConvertKit. One, because they cost money to really use them to the advantages that they have. All of the free features are not really helpful, useful, or worth your time and money to use. Like if you're not making anything already, ConvertKit, in order to really get all of the cool stuff, costs $30 a month. Okay, $29 a month. They just came out with a free version because they want to compete with MailerLite and MailChimp, which both of them do have that free version where you get 2,000 up to 2,000 subscribers. The other one you get up to 1,000. It really is not worth it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be constricting yourself to say, oh man, once I go past 2,000, then you need to start spending upwards of 20, 30, sometimes even $50 or $100 a month in order to communicate to that email list, which is highway robbery. What I would suggest is what I'm using, which is basically Substack. Now Substack is similar to I think I've already said, like you take the best bits of Patreon, Medium, WordPress, and you put them all into one program, and you have Substack. Now what this is a newsletter, and it's a blog as well. And this allows you to have your subscribers in one place, similar to MailChimp, but the main difference is it costs nothing. You can have 50,000 subscribers, and you can email that subscriber list every day for the rest of your life. It will cost you nothing. Substack will not charge you. MailChimp, ConvertKit, or MailerLite, they will charge you for that same 50,000 subscribers that you have to email them every day, $400 to $500 a month for the privilege. And the reason is because they are a marketing platform. They're not a newsletter platform. They're not a community building platform. They're not a user first platform. They are a make us money platform. So the second you start having hundreds, thousands of subscribers, they expect you, if you want the privilege of using them, to sell things immediately. Because if you aren't selling stuff and you aren't making money, you can't afford $30 a month to use ConvertKit, right? And again, some people are like that. Someone like Garrett, who's got, a subscriber list that's 20,000 in size. He's got like 20,000 plus subscribers. Yeah, he's using, I think he uses MailChimp, but he's paying, I don't know, $30, $40, $50 a month in order to email his subscriber list a couple times a month. Okay. But he has to pay that every month, or he probably does the annual so that he could save a month or two, but he's earning enough to make a living off of his books, so that from a marketing perspective makes sense. But if you're someone like me who's earning zero from what I'm putting out and is looking to build a community and to build my reader list, I can't afford to just be throwing $30 a month at ConvertKit, right? But I can afford 0 at Substack, have an unlimited amount of subscribers, and then eventually what I will do is turn on the valves like Patreon, where you pay every month and you will get certain newsletter post things that no one else will get. Its focus is for nonfiction. That's one of the things, like there's a Discord server that I'm a part of where we're having this discussion daily, which is that we want Substack to stray from the medium. There's a website that's called Medium, which you probably never heard of either, but it's a similar concept where it's more for the journalist, to where anyone can be a journalist now. So if you have thoughts and opinions on finance, politics, religion, whatever, now you don't have to be published on the New York Times. You don't have to be published on, the Paris Review. You can literally just create a Substack, or you could create a Medium account and be a journalist on there and write your stuff, and people, surprisingly enough, will pay $5, $7, $10 a month to get your views and opinions. John Smith doesn't matter, but there are people on these platforms who are earning 6 figures, 5 figures a month from writing their opinion, their nonfiction thoughts and opinions. But there are a lot of people like me, fiction writers, who are using and entering these realms of Medium and of Substack, and we want to be heard, and we want, what we're doing to be recognized as well, because we're using them to write our fiction and to share our short stories on there. And we want to be able to bring in readers to these platforms, but they don't adhere to what we need. So there are actually staff from Substack in this Substack Discord that I'm a member of, and so every time we make a suggestion on what they can do to improve, they're listening, and they will respond and say, that's a great idea, we'll let our tech team know, whatever the case may be, because it's a fairly new program. Substack, I think, came out in like 2017 or 2018, so it's barely 5 years old. So it has a long way to go to compete with something like Medium, but it's great to enter on the ground floor. And like I said, this is where my newsletter is now, and one of the main reasons why I put it here, I will show you, is because it allows me to put all of my writing, from my nonfiction blog posts that I do on my website, to my monthly newsletter that I used to do on MailChimp, to my Friday fiction that I'm bringing back and write every Friday, even my my serial fiction for Born from Blood, which I'm going to be releasing chapter by chapter, week to week, all in one place. So I'm now not like writing my blog on WordPress, sharing my Born from Blood stuff to my patrons over here, posting my Friday fiction over here, going to MailChimp to write my monthly newsletter. I'm not spread amongst 5 different platforms and programs. It's all happening in one place. And by having everything happen in one place, I'm spending more time writing and less time flipping through websites and web pages and copying and pasting here and doing this and doing that. It has freed me up completely. And then if you subscribe, have the option of what do you want from me and what don't you want from me. So if you don't want to get my 15 post lesson plan that I have on Substack for fiction writers, where basically the first Monday and Wednesday of every month, I am releasing a guide that is going to teach you and show you how Substack is an excellent source that all fiction writers should be using. So I'm taking you from being a beginner to an expert. If you don't want those, you just uncheck this. If all you want are my Monday, Wednesday posts as a writer, you want to see what I think and what my thoughts and opinions are on the creative aspect, the creative arm of writers, in terms of Vela, what is it? What do I think about it? Comparing MailChimp with MailerLite. All of these things that I write every Monday and Wednesday on my personal website blog. If that's all you want, then just keep the creative view and uncheck everything else. If all you want to know are my updates, so you want to know when I have a book coming out, when I have what I'm working on, how much I've written, what my inspirational YouTube video was for the past month, then that's the first edition. That's basically what I used to write on MailChimp, and now I'm no longer using MailChimp. Or if all you want is my fiction stuff, you don't want any nonfiction posts, you just want my short stories and you want my chapters that I'm releasing week to week, then just leave Friday Fiction and, you know, Born from Blood checked and uncheck everything else. And then that way, all I have to do is write it and hit publish. And it will go to everyone on my list who has checked that they want to receive that particular thing from that particular section. And so it like I said, it combines everything. So not only do I have a newsletter, but I also have this, which is like, it's almost like a blog in and of itself, where it houses everything. So you can just come here and just read it all and pick what you want. The ones that have an actual image, those are my actual Friday Fiction stories. So that's how I'm able to differentiate one from the other. And I can filter and just say, just show me my Friday Fiction short stories. I've written 4 so far. Every Friday I'm, you know, writing a new one. You know, these are just all the ones that would typically, and they still do, I still post these on my website, but they're here and you can get them as an email. So simple. I love it. And then these are all of the posts, again, that I would typically send via MailChimp are now all here, visible to everyone. Or you can just subscribe and get it in your inbox, and you don't have to actually come to this website to read this. You can just get it in your email like you normally would. And like I said, I started this section here, which is Substack for fiction writers. I've got, it's like 16 step-by-step guides for, you know, like I said, from beginner to expert, so that if you, Silent Willow or Shay or anyone who's in the channel, wants to use Substack and wants to know how helpful it can be, I've already got the first two up here. So it shows you how to sign up and then how to publish your first post. And next week, Monday, Wednesday, because it's the first Monday, Wednesday of September, is going to be on how to write the welcome email and tips and guides on what you might want to include in that welcome email. And then the other one is, what's the other one? Something about emails as well. This is where I'm tracking how many views I get per post. If I get over 50 views, I highlight it so that way I can know which ones are doing. Like this one is my best one, which is basically 101 for the setup of Substack. So I make sure as each one releases, I go back to the first one and I'm starting to add links to the other ones, because I know that people are starting here. And so I want them to start here and know that there's like other ones coming out and the next one that they should go to. Okay, so I'm doing welcome email and then just the email template itself, because you should always have like an email template of basically the header and footer. So there's a header and footer that's the same for every email that goes out. And so there's certain things you might want to have in there to make sure that people are aware of, like you have a Twitter, you have an Instagram, you have a YouTube channel, and there's all these things that you don't have to remember to put in each post. You literally can just put it in the email template itself, so it just appears there in every email that you send out. But yeah, so all of these that are highlighted in green are the posts that are specific to Substack for fiction writers. And so I have so many that the last one is going to be April 4th of 2022, because that's, and actually this needs to all be shifted down again because I added a new one to the 101s section, which is the beginners. And so there's actually 7 posts, not 6. I just haven't done the shift yet for that, but I'm like tracking literally everything, and the main thing I'm doing this for is to just track the total views, and you can see how my email list has steadily been growing since I started using this literally a month ago. So I've only been using Substack for a month, and starting from 0 subscribers in a month, I already have actually 28. Because I'm gonna fill this in right now. It's a little early for me to be adding numbers because this email just went out 2 hours ago. But I did gain another subscriber, I think like sometime this weekend. I forget when. 12, 28, 18, 7. And again, this gives you all the information that like a MailChimp would as well, in terms of the analytics, to see how many views there's been, how many, emails it went to, who opened it, how many times they open it. The links that I have in there, it'll show them down here. And so I'll get to see like 20% of the 7 people who opened it clicked on either the like button, or I shared another Substack in there, so someone actually clicked that as well. So track it all. And like I said, by the end of the day, I'm noticing that I usually have upwards of 30 views on the posts that I've been putting out, which is pretty good. But I need to convert like these 51, 73 into actual subscribers, so that they're not just looking at it, but they're actually subscribing. So that's the going to be the goal for the end of this year and all of next year, is to convert the number of unique visitors that are reading my Substack to actually subscribe, so that I'm able to communicate to them directly via email. But yeah, so my website, I've changed it. I don't know if you've seen that. But I've made some key changes to it. One of the things is I'm no longer promoting. I mean, there are ways, but the real key way to get someone to subscribe, I find, is usually exclusivity, and say if you subscribe, you're going to get something that no one else is going to get, which is what makes Substack a bit difficult to get that hook. Because the only way, because you can, if you were to click on my, go to my Substack for the first time, or I think any time, but I think the IP might be remembered, so it might only be the first time, you'll be hit with a window that basically says like subscribe, so that you can, do whatever. But there's also this little note at the bottom that says, let me read first. So the idea is, you could say, let me see what this person is writing before I just blindly decide to subscribe. And as far as I know, there's no way to know, or to say, once they've hit that let me read first, don't ever let them do that again. And the next time they go to my site, leave them in that window, remove that line, and now they have to subscribe in order to see what's there. There's no way to do that. So you're kind of in a quandary there, because you want people to subscribe, but you can't prevent them from you can't say if you don't subscribe, you can't read what I'm producing. You technically can. The simplicity of it is, if you subscribe, you don't have to continuously go to ericadrayton.substack.com on the website to see my new posts, or to anticipate that I'm going to have a new post there. Because if you subscribe, then you'll get an email, and you won't have to wonder, do I have a new post? Do I have an alert? You're going to get it in your email inbox. So that's kind of the encouraging part. But what's going to happen is, when I do my serial fiction, you're only going to get the first 5 chapters free. So that's going to be how I'm going to get either people to subscribe, but really people to become paid subscribers. So I'm eventually, and I'm setting it up right now, so it's not live yet, But right here I have set up paid subscriptions. Once I check this box, then that will be a live thing on my site, which it's not at the moment, but it will be in May. So I think it's like May 1st of 2022 is when I'm going to tick that box. And there's going to be some things that you're going to get as a paid subscriber that you won't be able to get anywhere else. And so I'm going to have a whole set of new welcome emails and subscription renewal emails and stuff that I'm going to have to create in order to, once I tick that box, which is why I haven't yet, because I haven't gone into these emails to edit them and say this is what I want them to say for a paid person versus a free person. But yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of people wanting to not miss out on a possible post that I put out, and the only way they can do that is to subscribe. Otherwise, they'd have to continuously every day check my actual blog. Like, they'd have to actually get on the computer and come here to see if I have something new, versus not needing to do that and just getting it in your inbox, and you never have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Yes, you do. And one of the simplicity things about that I like about this is, unlike Patreon, which gives you all of these unlimited number tiers that you can have. So you can have, you know, $1 tier and a $3 tier and a $10 tier, and then you have all these tiers. And then what happens is you start to think like, okay, is the rewards, you know, that I'm giving to the $1 tier, if I have a $10 tier, then I need to make sure I'm giving them more than the $1, and it can really get in the way of the creator creating. And so what Substack does is you literally have one tier. That's it. And it can't be lower than $5. So your tier starts at $5, but you could put any amount you want above that, but you only get one. So there's just a one price that you set that a person pays every month. So you have the monthly tier, then you get to set the annual tier. So if you want to make it that your annual tier is like half of what it would be if a person paid monthly, you can set that. You can set whatever you want your annual tier to be. You can set it however. Then there's the founding members tier, which is basically like, you can also set that to whatever amount you want. So some people will have it that they do like $5 a month, $60 or $70 annually. But then you can say, well, become a founding member for $300 one-time thing, and you'll get like, you know, unfettered or unlimited access forever. And again, you could set, so there are three prices that you can set, but in terms of how much you pay every month, there's only one monthly price that you can set, and you can't set it to less than $5, which I love, because I hate when people set it to like $1 or $3 and severely undervalue themselves and their work in doing that, but they're fearful that people won't want to pay $5 a month. When you factor how many people go out there and you know, buy a Starbucks drink every day, that's $7 a day. So, you know, $5 a month is still severely undervaluing one's work, but at least it forces us to at least set it to $5, at least. So yeah, you can set whatever dollar value that you want. And you don't have to call it founding members, which I like as well. You can call it like whatever you want. So I'm also thinking about, do I want to just leave it at founding members, or do I want to change it? But basically it's right here. So you have your subscription plans, and I can put any dollar amount that I want in here. It's totally up to me. And then, like I said, you could change this so it doesn't have to be called founding members. If you have like some sort of name that you call all of your fans, you can put that there. And then you set, again, whatever dollar amount they want. Yeah. And this one really is not even for a lifetime. This one is just like, let's say there's someone who's really loves what you're doing, and they want to have, they want to give you way more than what you put for them for the year. This is really what this is for. Like, if you're someone who's saying, you know what, I want to give you more than just $70 for the year because I really love the content you're putting out. So you can set it to this, but you can also tick this box so that they're allowed to either enter a lower amount, higher amount, whatever. But it can't. But they won't let them put an amount that's less than whatever your yearly subscription amount is. So it really, follows that. And then here I get to put what the benefits are for the paid subscription. And actually, I wonder, hold on. Oh, you know what? Because I'm signed in, it won't show. Oops. I don't know how that got unticked. But anyway, so you can put like what people get if they just have the free, if they're a founding member, what extra bit they'll get, and then what things they'll get as a paid person. So in my instance, they're going to get all of the chapters released weekly. And then for some future things, I am bringing Twin Crossing back. I don't know when, so this might be removed, and this should be here, so I'm removing that. But for the founding members, I am going to be recording my Friday fiction stories, and they'll get that, but without the commercials and stuff. So that's the most I can offer for Friday fiction people. But you can also offer discounts on special occasions. So if you want to say, sign up this week, you'll get 20% off, whatever. Again, you get to pick what the percentage is, what the discount is. You get to decide. You can also give away paid subscriptions for free. So like, Silent Willow, if I wanted to make sure that you had access and you couldn't afford to pay me every month, I could add you here. And you wouldn't have to. You would have access to anything that's paid here. And this is good for like if you want to like have maybe like a blogger, a book blogger or someone review your thing. You don't want them to have to pay in order to see it, to read it, to review it, right? So you would add them as a subscriber, and then they would have unfettered access to read it and do the thing. Or if I did a giveaway, let's say, and said, I'm going to do a giveaway. So the next 50 subscribers, one of you is going to get access to my paid. Actually, that's a good idea. You were just asking, like, how could you get someone to encourage them to convert to subs? That's one of them. I need to write that down. Thank you for making me talk this out, because I didn't even consider that. I'm like, that's not how you get them to convert to a paid subscriber, but that's just how you get them to be a subscriber. Like, only people who actually subscribe, I will then, like, for every 50, or maybe I should, or every 25, I will give away 1 full year access to my paid posts. That is, and I need to share that. Ideas to get subscribers. Hold on, I'm writing this down. Oh God, I wrote subscribers wrong. Subscribers. That is the bomb idea. Okay, I really love that idea. Hold on, I need to share this right away, because that is a great way to get, what the hell? Okay, I just wrote that down. Oh, I just wrote that down. Oh yeah, should I even share that with the group? Should I keep that to myself? Because I don't think anyone has mentioned that as a viable idea. So I'm wondering if anyone even considered it. Or should I just keep that to myself? That'd be mean, wouldn't it? I should share it. That's what we're doing. We're trying to help each other. But I have, how many do I have right now? I have 28. I can't look at it right now because it'll show their emails, and I don't want to put people's emails on my stream. That would not be good. Well, that's the thing. We're all like spitballing ideas, and then different people are trying different things. So it's good to have, at least for me anyway, to have multiple people trying the same thing, because what I'm writing and sharing and doing might be different than what someone else in the group is, because there's a lot of nonfiction people in the group as well as fiction. So it might work for a nonfiction person, whereas it might not work for me. I don't know. Or vice versa. It might work for more of the fiction writers than it would work for nonfiction people to give away, whatever. And in my instance, technically, it wouldn't work until I turned on paid, because there's nothing for me to prove that there's the content there that they would be getting for free until next May, when I start releasing the things that are going to be behind a paywall. So even if I were to start implementing that now, it would be for naught, because I don't have anything. So it'd be like, subscribe and then I'll give you a year free, but there's nothing that's behind a paywall right now, so you're literally going to be getting nothing. So I'd rather do it when I already have things behind a paywall, which technically won't be till July of 2022, because May, I'm doing my teaser posts, so there's going to be 5 blog posts in May of next year that are going to be coming out every Sunday, that's going to be discussing different aspects of the story. Then June 5th, 2022, which is a Sunday, every Sunday I'm going to be releasing a chapter for 5 Sundays. And then that 6th Sunday, which will be like the first or second week of July, I forget, is when I'm going to continue to release chapters, but they're going to be released only to paid subscribers. So I think after I've done that and have like maybe 5 or 6 chapters hidden behind a paywall, then that's when I should say I'm going to be giving away 1 year's access to my posts behind the paywall. And hopefully by then I might have 100 subscribers. That's what I'm hoping, is that I'll have a nice number of people already subscribed. But yeah, I think that's going to be great. I feel like if I do it now, like I said, it's not going to work. I'm not going to have good data to be able to say this works. I would need someone who already has the paid arm up and running to do the footwork of letting people know, like, if you subscribe, I'm going to give away a free thing. Because I can't do it. I already know. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So that's an idea and a nugget that I will keep to myself until this time next year, literally. And then if it works, I'll let people know and be like, hey, so I tried this thing where I'm giving away, I mean, I would imagine that's why they have this option here, for the 2 reasons that I said, where you can give away paid subscriptions for free. And I think I want to uncheck this. If unchecked, your free signups will not be able to see any preview of your paid posts. I'm wondering if they'll be able to at least see the title, though. Because if they can't even see the title, I kind of want them to see that. I would need to look at an example. Do I have an example I can look at? I probably do. There's several people that I'm following that have paid posts, I think. Who am I following that has paid posts? Oh, you know what? She does. I gotta ask her if she's doing... See, this post is for paid subscribers. It literally, like, I can see the letters behind here, so it's literally like a... That's interesting. I never actually looked at this before. But you can actually see words behind here. Huh. It looks like it's the same set of, like, these same things. I wonder if that's intentional or not. I don't know. She's in the Discord group, so I can ask her if she has that thing checked or not. But she has, like, you see free stuff and then stuff that's behind a paywall. And she does fiction. That's what's behind the paywall, is her her fiction writing. And so I could, you know, give her that idea, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it to myself. Act like you know. Okay. Anyway, let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. How do I get out of here? Oh. One second. Now that I'm out of here, I can check this. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. The dog is doing very well, by the way. Walking, moving about, which is great. Hopefully we'll be back to normal. Oh, this is expected today. Interesting. Or some semblance of normalcy. I wish these people would stop harassing me about this. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, it is. It has been definitely great, because stress doesn't even begin. Okay. Luckily, my auto posting to Twitter is working, so that eventually I can cut Twitter out of my life completely, which has been amazing, by the way. Like, I think I look at Twitter so much less now than I used to, and it's been a breath of fresh air to just set everything to automatically post to Twitter so that I never have to use it. I removed it from my phone, so I don't even have the Twitter app on my phone. And I'm putting all of my eggs in the Instagram basket, which has been so much better for me. Like I can't even begin to explain how just it's just so nice to just never have to use Twitter ever again. I just hate that site and all that it stands for, and to cut it out of my social media marketing. I'm still using it, but I'm not actually using it because I'm setting things to automatically just post it so I don't have to do it myself. And I've also removed it from like any place that I am promoting myself. Almost like I'm letting people know I don't have a Twitter account, even though I do, so they can find me if they want. But I'm only promoting my Instagram and my YouTube channel and my Substack, right? So, and then I also have Medium up there only because it the SEO is a lot cleaner and better for that, so I don't want to discount that. The same thing with Tumblr. I'm starting to put Tumblr in places that I wouldn't normally put it, and again, it's because 90% of my personal website traffic is coming from Tumblr, from my Tumblr page, and so I can't ignore those numbers and that fact. So I am resurfacing Tumblr, and I'm making sure, similar to Twitter, that everything that I post, whether it's on my blog or Substack or wherever, that it is automatically posting to Tumblr. Just to make sure, because I know that a lot of my traffic is coming from there. I don't know why. Maybe that's where the writers are hanging out or the readers are hanging out. I can't explain it. All I know is that looking at my Google search console, which I've been looking at it and investigating it and analyzing it and studying it for several weeks now, that's the way it is. Tumblr is where they're coming from. Oh, and Silent Willow, did I tell you that I have, I don't know if the last time you were here, that I have my actual name as my URL, so I'm no longer going as E.L. Drayton. I don't know if you noticed that in other places, but this is actually going to be very exciting. I'm introducing a jackalope into my series. I don't know if you know what a jackalope is. But it's basically a rabbit that's the size of a small human, but can speak and things of that nature. I'm very excited. Has a horn. A jackalope usually has a set of horns like a deer, or antlers. Yes, antlers. I wonder if I could show this image, because I have two images of what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of a jackal. Let me add it here. I didn't even add it here yet. Interesting. Let me do it now. Whoops. Oh, here we go. Drag image here. Let me expand it, and then hold on. Hold on to your turbans, kid. Okay, so here is, I don't know if it'll let me add multiple images, but here's one of them. Yeah, so I've told the story so many times where I lost my URL back in high school because I didn't realize the importance of having your own URL. And for the longest time, it was being held hostage by some third party thing. And I randomly checked because I was having a discussion about it in this Discord server where we were talking about name recognition and Google searching your name and what comes up when you do a Google search of your name. Like, is it the information that you hope, like either your Twitter page or your personal website or whatever? And so people were saying like mine was the search was coming up the way I wanted because of the uniqueness of the fact that I was using initials for my name as opposed to other people whose name isn't initials. And so I was explaining that the only reason why I'm even using initials has nothing to do with choice. It has to do with, necessity. And I had no other options because I did not have ericadrayton.com. And someone had mentioned, well, how did you check for ericaLdrayton.com? And I hadn't at the time, and I couldn't remember why. And I was like, you know what? Let me just check and see if ericaLdrayton.com is available. Because if I can't get Erica Drayton, then that's a close enough thing to it in my book. And when I went to check, it was available. But then a little voice in my head said, check ericadrayton.com and see how much are you worth today. And so I checked, and it was there, and it was not being held hostage. And I was like, oh my God. So I snatched it up, and I think I got it for like 2 years. So I don't have to worry about losing it for the next 2 years. And then it's set to auto renew. So I will never, ever, ever let go of my URL ever again. I don't know why it just randomly was there, because the last time I checked in May, it was like $795 if I wanted to get ericadrayton.com from that third party. So I don't know if maybe they went bankrupt or what happened, but I'm not going to question fate and or nature. What I am going to do is drag this image. So this is the other one, which, like I said, I don't know if I can. Ooh. If I'm able to show it. So let me get rid of the inspector. This is an absolute. Let's make this wider. Okay. Let's get rid of this. So yeah, so this is like how I envision that the jackalope that he comes across is actually going to look. It's going to be able to stand on its hind legs and be dressed in actual clothing and all of these things. Might even have a banjo. I don't know. But this is what I'm envisioning in my mind when I'm thinking, what is the jackalope going to look like that Son of River encounters on his spirit walk? And this is it. I don't know if the jackalope is going to stay with him or if it's just going to be a chance encounter that he has with the jackalope during this spirit walk, and then that's the only time. That I don't know. I guess I'll know that when I'm writing the story. Oh my God, why are you not letting me type it right? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. get that out of my way for a second. Right, this has to be when he goes to the Iron Rope Inn for the first time. But what circumstance would lead him there? Oh, have I been streaming for 2 hours already? I didn't even realize. But I definitely know now where I'm taking this story. Like, there are some loose ends I need to answer, or account for or explain that may not make sense, and I feel like I need those answers before I start writing. Otherwise, I'm gonna find myself floundering, and that's why I rely as heavily as I do on my outline. Even though I may not adhere to them, I rely on them, and that's the key. it just me or is time going very slow? Motion detected at your patio. Oh, you know what? I need to check something right now before I forget. I'm trying to remember. I think that's it. Yeah, it should be used to pay that, so I'll have to check. Because this was from August 3rd. What the frick? Okay, I have to do some work stuff now. Like, and by work I mean like what I get paid to do. So I'm gonna go do that. And then I have to start cleaning my office before I'm allowed downstairs, and I'm starving, so I'm gonna actually do that as well. So I'm gonna end the stream so that I can clean, do like work stuff, and then go eat. I will be back on Wednesday, and I will continue work on this outline, which I can tell is gonna take me some time, but I know where I'm headed. The Promise of the Premise is probably going to be my favorite chapter to write, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about where I'm going with the new characters that I've added for his, you know, band of weird creatures and merry people. So that's going to be good. There's going to be the part that's going to be a little light because the first chunk of the book is going to be very heavy with murders and killings and a lot of blood and gore and mutilation. So somewhere near the middle, I'm going to be putting in a little fun and excitement, a game I'm going to put in there. I have to create the game, etc. So that's going to be in the Promise of the Premise chapter. It's going to be a really long chapter, actually. I have to figure out what to do about that. But in any event, I'm going to hopefully finish the outlines for both. If I need to do another week, that's fine, because I'm giving myself all of September, October, November, and December more than enough time, 4 months, for me to write this book. So I'm not worried at all in how long I take to redo this outline before I actually get started on the story. That's, if I take a full month, I'm cool with that. Because like I said, I know I have more than enough time. I'm probably going to end up writing this thing in a month or less. So however much time I need, I'll take. So yeah, so I'm going to continue work on the outline. I'll be here Wednesday morning. I've changed my streaming to an hour later than I originally had, because trying to start at 8 when I have like dog walking and feeding and giving medication duties in the morning, and we usually don't get up till between 7:30, it's just not been working. And I've been constantly like shifting the time or just canceling it, and I don't want to cancel my streams anymore. So the solution was to just do my streams from 9 to 11 as opposed to 8 to 10. So we're shifting everything 9 to 11, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then hopefully in doing that, I will have less canceled streams. That's the goal. So I will catch you guys Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the meantime, have a good start to your week. It's Monday. Take it easy. Don't do too much. Don't stress too much. We have a whole set of days to get through, and we don't want to start the week off on the wrong foot. So have a great Monday. Thank you to everyone who was here and who chatted and who helped me discover new things and work out some things as I talk them out to myself and to you. I appreciate it. That's why I do these streams, because I know these kind of helpful tips come out of them. And I will catch you guys